Okay, I'm going to make few statements on the Ukraine war. Okay, there was an intellect called Brzezinski who went from the Eastern Europe to America. His plan was to always break up Russia into three parts and extract all the minerals and so forth. Now, Mr. Putin wants to join Europe, but America has a saying that keep the Russians out, Germans down, and America in. Now there was a pipeline. There was this Nord Stream pipeline which was destroyed. That is the pipeline which went from Russia to Germany. Right? So this was destroyed so that Europe's energy dependence, they become, energy prices will go up so much that after that Europe cannot survive. So they did it deliberately, and this is a part of the Americans to keep Europe as a vassal state and keep the Russians out. But that plan it didn't work that way, because now Russia is being integrated into Africa, right? Asia and South America. Now, if you take the Nobel Peace Prize, that was given in the view of starting a war, because the person who got the Peace Prize has said that Americans should invade Venezuela and liberate it. So he is an extremist, right-wing person, and Donald Trump, this is one of the gateways that, because you can put a person who gets a Nobel Peace Prize as a leader of a country. So this is to extract the oil. Now, Venezuela doesn't have much of an army. So if the Americans want to invade Venezuela, they can do it. But there will be, because of Chavez and all these people, there will be terrorism. So if Americans invade Venezuela, Venezuela will be destroyed, but there will be terrorism against the Americans. So Americans also will not win. So that will be a no-win situation for Venezuela. And why they gave this Nobel Prize in Peace, Nobel Prize in Peace, is because it's a signal to invade. Now, if you take what we call the Abraham Accords, it was initiated by, that is coming to Palestine. It was initiated by Jimmy Carter. That was mainly, Abraham Accords are mainly done to destroy the Palestinians, and to some extent it has worked. And this is why the October 7th thing happened. Now, getting back to Ukraine, right? There were a lot of CIA camps inside Ukraine at the Russian border, especially after 2014. There was a coup, like we had a coup-like situation in Sri Lanka also. So this is the same pattern. Okay, you had this in Bangladesh. Now you had same kind of thing in Nepal, but Nepal is little bit different. There were people who promoted. It is the Americans are behind it, but there are people who promoted the king, because there is a king's family there, right? That king's their people are there. So all these things have foreign actors. So when it comes back to Ukraine, there were two agreements, Minsk Agreement 1 and 2, and those agreements was always to buy time so that the NATO can put more weapons and get Ukraine to attack Russia or create a condition so that the Russians would attack Ukraine. Now, after this war started about 2 years ago, then there was an agreement signed between uh, between Zelensky and Mr. Putin, between Mr. Zelensky and Mr. Putin, and then British politician came there and he aborted it. He just destroyed, he just got rid of. Now we know that there was a person who manufactures, or he's a person who manufactures drones for war, and he sent this British politician to destroy the agreement. So after the war, after Russia invaded, after about 3 months, there was the agreement. Agreement was signed, and now we know that who extended the war is a person who manufactures military drones. So you have this economics of genocide. Sometimes it is not always genocide. So you have economics of war. So what because of that, at least 1 million people have died in Ukraine. Okay, so Ukraine, there was the West always cheated. They deceived Putin because they had Minsk Agreement 1 and 2 won't stop the war. After the war was there, after 3 months, there was agreement that was, now it has come out, it was mainly aborted by military drone manufacturers, so this is the problem. Now I am a Sinhalese nationalist, but nationalism can be little bit, if he goes beyond certain limit, it could lead to civil war. So when you be a nationalist, you have to have certain limits to it. Okay? And what has happened in Ukraine is unfortunate. Now, what about the ceasefire in Gaza? I don't think it will work because Israel will not let it work. But if Israel sabotages the ceasefire, then Trump will be furious. So Hamas knows exactly what is coming. Hamas knows that this might not work. But I am very happy that the hostages were released, because I don't like doing politics with hostages. So I believe in certain amount of ethics has to be there even during war. Otherwise you will not. So I don't trust about this ceasefire in West Asia, but Hamas knows that this agreement, but because a lot of people have died, now they say at least 500,000 people are dead, not 65,000, because there are a lot of bodies under the rubble, under these destroyed buildings and things like that. Okay, so about these ceasefire in West Asia, most likely it will not last. And I am very happy that the Israeli hostages have been released, because I don't like this using hostages to get independence. I don't like that. දැන් මට පොඩි දෙයක් කියන්න ඕනේ මේ පොලිස් පොඩ්ඩට. මම ඔබතුමාගේ නම දන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් මේ රටේ මේ මිනිස්සුන්ට පොලිසිය ගැන තියෙන ආකල්පය හරි වෙනස්. Okay, then I touched upon few things. Okay, Ukraine war, Gaza, economics of genocide and economics of war. When you get economics of war, a lot of people benefit. So you have to, especially if you are a nationalist, you have to be very careful that you don't go exceed the limit. Okay, now we know that somebody sabotaged because he wanted to sell his drones. And that is one of the main reasons why the Ukraine war goes on. දැන් පොලිස් පොඩ්ඩට මට යමක් කියන්න ඕනේ. ඔබතුමාගේ රස්සාව හරි ඔබතුමා හිරේ දාන්න බලයි. මොකද පොඩ්ඩෙකට මේ රටේ වීරය වෙන්න දෙන්න බෑ. එතකොට මේ උඩ ඉන්න කට්ටිය ඉන්නවනේ ඔය හැමතැනම උඩ තට්ටි ඉන්නවනේ. ඒ ඔබතුමාව කොහේ හරි තැනක ට්‍රැප් කරනවා. හරි උගලකට ආල් කරනවා. ඉතින් ඔබතුමාගේ කට පරිස්සම් කරගන්න ගොඩක්. ඒ ඔබතුමාට ඉන්නවනේ දැන් ලෝයර් කෙනෙක් ඒ මාතරින් ආවේ ඒ ඇවිල්ලා තින්නේ ඔබතුමාගේ අම්මා. අම්මා කියන්නේ ගියාත්මේ අම්මා කෙනෙක් තමයි ඇවිල්ලා. හරි එතුමියගෙන් අහලා ඒවට උත්තර දෙන්න. වැඩි ආරේ මේ මාධ්‍ය සාකච්ඡා වලට එම් ගිහින් ඇනගන්න එපා. මොකද කට්ටියක් ඉන්නේ දැන් මිනිසුන් මේ රටේ පොලිසියට කියන්නේ වෙන කතානේ. නමුත් මිනිසුන්ට පොලිසිය ගැනත් එහෙම විශාල හැඟීමක් තියෙනවා පොඩි මිනිසුන්ට. ඒ හේතුව ඔබතුමා පොඩි මිනිසෙක්. ඉතින් මට ඔබතුමාට දෙන්න තියෙන ඇඩ්වයිස් එක ඔබතුමාගේ කාට පරිස්සම් කරගන්න. මොකද ඔබතුමාගේ රස්සාව නැති කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. මොනාරි එකට හිරිය දාන්නත් පුළුවන්. මොකද ඔය ආයතන සංග්‍රහ ආරෝපණ තියෙනවනේ. ඒ මොකක් හරි වැරදි එකක් කිව්වොත් රස්සාව නැති කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ ඔබතුමාගේ නෝනා ඉන්නවනේ ලෝයර්. ඒ නෝනා ගන්න අරගෙන වැඩි ඒවම කියන්න යන්න එපා. අනිත් එක ඒ නෝනා ඉන්නවනේ. ඒ නෝනා ඉන්නෝනේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔය දැන් in a crisis only you get heroes. එතකොට මේ මෙතුමිය ඇවිල්ලා තමයි මේකේ එක්තරා වීරෙක්. හරි පොලිස් පොඩ්ඩක් වීරෙක් තමයි. නමුත් මෙතුමිය වීරෙක්. වීරිය ගෑනු පිළිමිනේ ගෑනු එක්කෙනෙක්. එතුමිය ඉන්න ඕනේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ.